ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
Start ಮಾಡೋಣ. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I, Manjula Shastri, welcome you all on behalf of Mysore Science Foundation. This is the fourth day of our biodiversity webinar series.
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ದು.
Is that audible now?
Okay.
Hello. Good morning, ma'am. Hello.
ಆಡಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
Morning, teachers.
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು.
Every time they are making it.
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್ ಮೇಡಮ್.
I request once again everyone, please don't try anything. Okay. Otherwise, okay. It's okay. Don't present. It's okay. See there. Is that muted now? Am I audible? Hello. Too many disturbances are there. Please, others, mute your audio as well as put off your video. Otherwise, it is very difficult to share the webinar. Okay. Now I move to today's versatile speaker, Dr. Santhosh Kannada, who has a series of qualifications and works and projects, and after him, he had been awarded PhD from Mysore University. The place of research, PG Department of Botany, Yuvaraja College, working as lecturer in biology and Maharaja Government PU College. And his PhD thesis guide was Dr. M.K. Mahesh and University of Mysore. And he also owned MPhil dissertation on Xanthomonas oxonopodis PV, Malvacearum, load in linted and also delinted cotton seeds and its effects on planting value. The guide was Dr. S. Umesh. Sir, he was from same Mysore University, and he worked as lecturer in various institutions and attended training programs like 2 days lecturer training program and also 3 days faculty development program. And he had worked in the revision of 8th standard new science textbook 2011 review committee of Karnataka state government. He authored many books and journals like the bacterial blight pathogen concentration in cotton seeds with Umesh sir and Hari Prasad, and also qualitative and quantitative analysis of photochemicals of Cyperus corymbosus, and with Mahesh sir and also Hari Prasad. And he had presented many papers, and also he had delivered many lectures, and he had participated number of seminars, a few of them like the 103rd Indian Science Congress that held in University of Mysuru, and also the 40th Indian Social Science Congress, and also the in 2017 National Seminar on Ornamental Plant Scope, like that. And I think his works will keep on going, and he's so enthusiastic in doing many more programs. You soon come to know that I am not wrong. He is more than what I am telling and introducing him. Now move on to Santhosh Kannada, sir. Please do, sir.
Thank you, madam. Is this slide is clear? Slide ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Sir.
Good evening,
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ
everyone.
ಇದೆ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
I
Okay.
am Santhosh. We all know
Now clear,
the
sir.
Earth is a unique ecosystem. At present, we know that 1.2 crores of species live are estimated to report on this particular. Out of this, what we know is only 16,000. And these species altogether in this Earth, together we will call by the name as biodiversity, which refers to the variability among the living organism from all sources, including terrestrial, aquatic, and other ecological complexes, which includes diversity within the species, between the species, and of the various ecosystem. And today we shall know about that biodiversity and some conservation aspect with some traditional methods of conservation. Biodiversity is mainly divided for the study into three divisions like genetic diversity, species diversity, and ecosystem diversity. Genetic diversity refers to the variation within the population of a species. For example, Mangifera indica has 5,000 species, whereas Oryza sativa at present has 88,000 species, where before 1800 it is reported for 3 lakh species. Out of 2.5 lakh we have lost due to the British rule. And species diversity refers to the number and kinds of living organism in a particular geographical area. That is like we are going to estimate the species richness and even how often this species is reported in that particular place. Likewise, ecosystem diversity is the variety of habitats, biological communities, and ecological complexes that occur in the biosphere, where we have different types of ecosystem. We have grassland, we have lake, we have trees in ecosystem, etc. like this. And that constitute ecosystem diversity. And these are some different features of different ecosystem like grassland and solar, where solar is the interesting feature of the Western Ghats, where the mountains are covered with the grassland and the valley will be possessed with the evergreen forest. And these are the other ecosystem from the forest ecosystem to desert ecosystem. The diversity also varies from equatorial plain to the poles. And also along the mountains, with increasing the altitude, there will be decrease in the diversity. And it will also divided or the range of diversity is into other three parts, like alpha diversity, that is steady within the community, beta diversity between the communities, and gamma diversity between various communities, as shown in this particular picture. And the life is always interdependent. It is never unique. The wide range of animals depend on a particular plant. Like this is one example of a acacia plant, where in the soil, if you go underground, we can see the wood feeders or the nematodes. In the upper side, we have bark feeders. We can see the sap feeders, flower feeders, gall makers, seed feeder, leaf chewers, nectar feeders, like this, and leaf and grazers also. And one tree give at least it may be food or it may be home for many species. If you take the Ficus bengalensis, minimum 550 to 100 species were dependent on the one particular tree. And this is the global ecosystem, or different types of vegetation, taking from the tropical evergreen forest till towards the tundra region. You can see the classification of the world. And we all know that the earth possesses at present about 7.4 billion people, and the forest cover of it is 26.19%. And out of which 40% of the global forest are seen in South America, Africa, and Asia. And 44% of them, that is global plant species, and 35% of the vertebrate species are seen in hotspots of biodiversity, that means biodiversity rich places itself. India has only 2.47 of total animals of the world, but it possesses 11.8% of the floristic diversity, which has covered with 21.67% of the forest cover and share 12.
ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನೋಡು, ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ. Sir, screen is visible. PPT screen is visible. All of you requested to pin to sir presentation.
Sir, unmute ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Excuse me, Santhosh sir.
Continue. Continue.
Please
ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Continue.
ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಲಾ?
Sir, presentation. Otherwise, it will be muted.
Continue.
Okay.
Now clear, sir.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay.
Sure.
And the wetlands is about 1.4 million hectares, and it has India has 7% of mangroves, and it is one among the 25 mega diversity centers of the world. Is it clear? Okay. And when you come to the facts of India, India occupies 1% of the forests of the world, and India has 17.9% of the human population and 30.7% of the cattle population, which ranks first in the world, followed by the Brazil and USA, and 56.7% of the buffaloes where the more Mysore come from this particular due to the large occurrence of this buffalo, like the Maishaka means what this buffaloes, not the Maishasura. Okay, and so 6.5% of the global goat is present in India, and 5.5% of the sheep populations. In earlier days, like in the period of Ramayana, we have the forest was divided into these types, like the Aushadhi Parvatam, Chitrakuta, okay, this one, okay, Dandakaranya, okay, Panchavati, this one, okay, Kishkinde, okay, and Lanke. And these are the earlier classification. And presently, India possesses all different types of forest which are seen in the world, from tropical evergreen forest till towards the scrub jungle. And India possesses 18 biosphere reserves, 104 national parks, 553 sanctuaries, 50 tiger reserves, 88 elephant corridors. And it has 49,000 plant species and 91,000 animal species too. Together, approximately 141,000 species, out of which yet 4 lakh species has to be identified by the scientists. And India has a another important criteria is 379 species of wild relatives of crop plants, which are said to be originate in this particular country. India is divided into 10 biogeographical regions, okay, trans-Himalayan zones, okay, Himalayan zone, desert, semi-arid zones, okay, Western Ghats zones, Deccan Plateau, Gangetic Plains, Northeastern Zone, coastal zones, and islands present near the seashores. And this is the picture of this 10 biogeographical zone. From each biogeographical zone, every year, minimum 5 to 20 new species were being reported, that especially in okay, evergreen patch of the Himalayas and the Western Ghats. And these are the plant communities that seen in India and compared to this of the world. Angiosperm is about 18,500, okay, and total floristic diversity of 11.5% present in our country. And this animal diversity is present in our country compared to the world, where mammals is 8.6%, invertebrates is 6.1%, that we can see here. And more importantly, the crop, the wild relatives. Wild relatives are very important, so that for the research and regeneration of the what required species of the either plant or the animal. In that, these are the crop diversity, wild relatives of the crop, like cereals and millets have 46,000, okay, and in cattle of 30,000, total in animal crop wild relatives of 137. And these are the some native breeding of the breeds, native cow varieties of India, which is very important, where the 15 cancerous drug has been extracted from this particular cows of India, and another 10 is on the way. Another 10 is on the way. Is it audible? Hotspots?
Yes, continue.
Okay. India has 4 hotspots of the world, and out of 25 different hotspots, they are Eastern Himalayas, Western Ghats, Indo-Burman region, and Sunda land. They are included among the top 8 important hotspots of the world. Hotspots means areas which are rich in a number of different species, higher concentration of endemic species, which is available only that particular place, which is nowhere else available, and it should experience more rapid rate of degradation. Okay, these are the different hotspots of the world. Okay, and this is the 4 hotspots we can see still more clear in here. And this is the Himalaya, Eastern Himalaya. This is one of the important hotspot, Western Ghats. Okay. This is Indo-Burman region where our Eastern India include here, and Sundaland. Sundaland, this our Andaman Nicobar Island comes under the Sundaland, okay, a hotspot. And this is this criteria. This is the original to set to be hotspot. It is rich in endemic species, like here in third column. Okay. And the Western Ghats, for example, has 3,049 species, endemic species. Its earlier area was 1,89,611 square kilometer, but now present is 43,611 only. And therefore, and this criteria, these are some criteria we said to be set as hotspot. And from 1,500 AD, this estimation has been made. And this is a endemic species. Endemic species means the species which is restricted to the particular geographical area or an ecosystem, and it is not present elsewhere in the entire world. And this is a gecko, the flying lizard, which and another missing link, living missing link. We have heard about only Archaeopteryx. It's a missing link between the reptiles and avian, and this is the missing link which is present in our India and Karnataka too. That is Western Ghats, the flying lizards. And the great hornbill, Indian hornbill. And this is the one of the interesting bird, which is a very large bird where the wingspan is about 2 meters. And during the mating season, its courtship that is fighting in the air, and out of which the stronger one will be female will be selected. And the lifespan, it is also it is what it a lifetime single partner, that is ekapatni rotasa. Okay, after that the stronger female will be selected, and they search a very big tree and made this burrow, and inside that female will go inside and patch up with this what we patch up with the mud and other things, only letting through that beaks out. Then male will go and search our food and come and give this particular food to the inside female, where female remove all his fur and made like a cushion, like, and lays its egg. After some months, the egg hatches and will break open this mouth of this nest, and children will come out. Then father and children will feed the mother. And this was the interesting thing, and it is an endemic species of Western Ghats. One of the beautiful flight bird we can see clearly from this particular video. This is the great Indian hornbill. We can see the courtship in this particular 3 minutes video. Please observe the flight and the other cases. This is one of the specialty of Western Ghats. Is it visible?
Sir, your PPT is not visible, sir. Only you, we can see you, sir, but your screen is not visible.
It's visible.
Sir, it is
It's visible. Please pin to Santhosh Kannada presentation.
Visible. You are pinning to other terminal.
Madam, one ನಿಮಿಷ. It's visible.
Presentation.
It requires fruits. Okay, for the presence of this hornbill, okay, the forest patch should have year round of fruits. Then only it can stay. Otherwise, it cannot stay. All round the years, the food is available. Ficus is one such tree which have plenty of foods or fruits. Now the another batch is coming. Now the actual scene starts. The competition for food, the competition for mate, and many things else. Nest. This is the one scene I took it from the Netflix. You can see the how the courtship is the fighting in the air. This is first time was captured. That's how courtship will be done. Okay, that's how the female will select, and lifetime single partner is seen in this particular species. And these species are important even for the seed dispersals too. And Western Ghats, when come to our Western Ghats, which is one of the very important hotspots of the world, it runs about 1.6 kilometer, 1,600 kilometer, runs in all 6 states: Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, okay, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. And there's 3 passes from Palghat, Borghat, and Talghat. Okay. And this has 1.6 lakh square kilometers of area approximately, and presently only 30% of the region is under forest cover. And Western Ghats is important because of its various endemic species, which we have shown, like hornbill, lion-tailed macaques, and other, which not present in any part of the world. And and it is important because of its landscape, and it is a world heritage too. And most importantly, the entire southern India, the water source is this Western Ghats. It is a source of all rivers, and without this Western Ghats, you cannot imagine the presence of the livelihood in this particular part. And this is some comparison between Western Ghats of Western slope and Eastern slope. Like it has rainfall, Western has rainfall of 200 centimeter, and Eastern has 70 to 200 centimeter, and it has evergreen and semi-evergreen. It has deciduous forest, where Western slope has rosewood, mahogany, ebony, and Eastern slope has the teakwood, sal, and sandalwood, etc. And because since 60% of the Western Ghats are present in Karnataka, and it is important for us to know more in detail about this particular case. About species diversity, if you see this, 4,000 species of angiosum, okay, 1,500 are endemic. In butterflies, out of 334, 37 are endemic. Like amphibians of 205, 125 are endemic. Out of fishes, 219, 116 are endemic. Reptiles, 225, 97 are endemic. Birds, 508, 19 are endemic. Mammals, 140, 14 are endemic, which are seen in only Western Ghats. And by seeing the heritage of this Western Ghats, the World Heritage Committee, the UNESCO, in 36th section, which is meeting that is undergone, seen in the St. Petersburg, Russia, consider Western Ghats mountain chains as one of the world's eight hottest hotspots of biological diversity, where 39 sites dotting the Western Ghats landscape were given the World Heritage sites, out of which 20 are present in Kerala, 10 in Karnataka, 5 in Tamil Nadu, and 4 in Maharashtra. And these are the 10 hotspots which were considered in that particular session of Karnataka, from Brahmagiri Wildlife Sanctuary to Balali Reserve Forest. And if we come to particular in biodiversity of Karnataka, we know that the land area of our state at present is 1,92,204, which is divided into 3 ecological regions, actually 4, that is coastal, Western Ghats region, Western Ghats, Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau divided into Northern Plateau and Southern Plateau. This is the present one. In earlier, it has also divided like our tradition people, like ಮಲೆನಾಡು, ಅರೆಮಲೆನಾಡು, ಬೆಂಗಾಡು ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಾಡು ಸಮತಟ್ಟು ವಲಯ, ಈ ತರ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. Karnataka state boasts about 4,780 species of flowering plant, and 27% of the floristic diversity, plant diversity is seen out of India is seen in Karnataka, which is distributed in 178 families. And 524 birds are seen, 120 mammals, 160 reptiles, like, and 90 species of frog, 800 species of fishes are seen. If you come to the topography of Karnataka, in the coastal region is a plain, and it has a rainfall about 3,000 millimeters to 4,000 millimeter, and deciduous, it has deciduous forest, semi-evergreen forest, and mangrove forest. Likewise, Western Ghats is about altitude about 1,000 to 1,892 meters, and it has a rainfall of 400 meters to 800 meters. It has evergreen forest, solar, and grassland. Like Northern Plain has a plain and rainfall about 400 to 800 millimeter and the scrub. And Southern Plateau is a plain and got has the rainfall of 600 to 1,000 millimeter and deciduous and scrub. And this is the picture which where green and yellow patches the only remainder, and dense forest is a green patch, and open forest are the yellow patches which we seen. And if you come to the symbol of Karnataka, like the national animal, it is a tiger. Likewise, our state animal, actually the word Kannada and Karnataka derived due to the presence of large number of this elephant, where it is called as Karinadu. Kari means it is not black soil. Actually Kari means this elephants. It is called by the Kari.
Sir, screen share artillery.
It is this one, and 8th century. Is it seen?
Screen share that is, sir.
Hello.
Continue.
Therefore, Karnataka got its name because of this elephant. And the Kannadigas are first persons to write a book, dedicated book like a Gaja Shastra before 8th century BC by the Shomar of Ganga dynasty. And he was the Ganga dynasty people were very fond of this wild animal. And they are the first to record the ecological book by name Rattamatara Shastra before 5th century AD. And another symbol of plant, that is one of the world symbol, the Kadamba Ruksha, what you will call, or the tree. It is a very, very gigantic tree, which a very slopy manner where water runs. And this is a small picture. Okay, water runs through the stem where the root loosen the soil, and so that the water reach and every part of the surface soil, where surface water of the soil will be enriched. As a result, fertility of the soil will be enriched. As a result, all other plants grow luxuriantly, which is compared to the Kannadigas. Okay, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರು ಇರ್ತಾರೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಕಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಜನಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ವುಡ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಸ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ವುಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಗಂಧ ಅದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸುವಾಸನೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಸಲ ತೆಯ್ಬೇಕೋ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ನಿಜವಾದ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಶಕ್ತಿ ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ವಿದ್ಯೆನ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂಚಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಅನದರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಈಸ್ Indian roller. And the specialist, it is called in Kannada, it is Neelakanta. Actually, it is Neelakanta. Kanta means decoloration. And the speciality of Indian roller is during mating season to go high over the sky and then dive into the ground by rolling and rolling. Okay, as it reaches the earth, it will fly attractively, and female will select those who dive attractively and fly. And this, this is a national bird. And these are the, of course, national flower also lotus. Presently, state flower also lotus only. And this is our old flower. You can see this red and yellow, typically like our Karnataka flag, where red refers to the Preeti ಮತ್ತು ಶೌರ್ಯ, ಹಳದಿ ತಾಳ್ಮೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪಕ್ವತೆ, the mature decision refers for this yellow. And this is the flower which grows towards the soil. And all flowers usually grow towards the sun, but this is the flower which grows towards the soil, which symbolize that Kannadigas are the people who always consider this soil as the mother. And this is our state butterfly, that is big winged butterfly, which was given this state 4 years back. And this is one of the unique biodiversity island which was not claimed. It comes under Arabian Sea at present, some kilometers from this Uttara Kannada district. And later the military people, Indian military people claimed, and this the island, Netrani Island, where the sea is the jewels of the sea, that is corals, and which is a symbol of the health of the sea. And one of the very rare species, that is fishing eagle, breed in this particular island, that has been detected. Now it has been protected for by the government. I was saying this is the one of the famous forest region some years back, that is Gundia forest region, where the government has planned to the one hydroelectric project, and this vegetation is of 2.5 billion years old, which date back to the history of the earth. Okay, and we can detect, and in this type of place they have made such a project which look to be totally nonsense. And more than 18% of the tigers, India's 18% of the tiger and 14% of the leopard are found in this particular Karnataka. If tiger present in a forest means, that means whatever the water required for entire Bangalore and Mysore city, that water, yeah, that means we have such a precious drinking water which is required to entire Bangalore and Mysore city. For example, you can see here, one tiger requires at least a prey density of 500 deers, and 500 with this, it requires grassland or vegetation of at least 10 to 12 square kilometer, and 10 square kilometer require at least 99 lakh. That means 1 crore pure drinking water for one tiger. Okay, you can see what is the therefore presence of tiger means presence of drinking water. And if you come to the elephant, 22% of the elephant population are present in our country. And another most interesting animal is the wild dogs. Okay, and these are the very unique animal which can complete the entire prey within 5 to 10 minutes. And there is census in 2006 to 7, during which you got 62% in the forest patch, and then again census conducted in 2014 to 15, which was reduced to 54%. We come to the lifeline of southern India, Karnataka, okay, or the entire southern India, river Kaveri. It has some species like the painted stork, giant squirrel, okay, grizzle quail, which is 5 to 10 times bigger than the normal one. And this is another unique biodiversity of the river Kaveri. It is called false four-eyed fish. It looks to have a four-eye, but it has only 2 eyes only, which lives in 5 to 20 in number. And you have seen in the first session the waters of Kaveri. You can see this one. And freshwater jellyfish is also seen in the river Kaveri. And we can see some other species like freshwater molluscan, okay, flapshell turtle, freshwater spiny heel, which mimic the background. You cannot easily detect this particular species at all. Okay, blue jay, okay, kingfisher, weaver's bird. And this year you just see, because the last government has proposed the one project, that is Mekadatu project. Okay, this Saram Vishweswaraya says that to build, someone asks why you are building or submerging our village, why can't you submerge the forest, no one lives here. Then he replies, okay, village can be built, the forest cannot be built. The forest can only be protected. Therefore we are submerging this village. Okay, and you can see the project was proposed in such a precious habitat, which is a single mountain chain from this particular place to Hampe or the Ballari. Okay, it is again 2.5 billion year old forest with precious rock system and granites. You can see this is a aerial view drawn in a drone. I just taken the project what we are proposing. They don't give even single drop of water. And to prepare one drop of water, it requires at least 1,000 years, and that can be prepared only by this vegetation. Water cannot be prepared by the human beings. And of course, we are considering with always benefit. What is the benefits of biodiversity? Like food security. Food security cannot be given by law. It can be only given by this survival of this or the protection of this biodiversity, like food or medicine or the fodder or the fuel, anything else. It is all economically important, will be given by this biodiversity. Biological value, pollination. When one will be human extinction will happen means whenever the last honeybee dies, okay, then after 5 years, okay, human beings also die. That's what says one of the scientists, because whatever the food we eat, okay, it is all the result of pollination that is inside. And soil formation, nutrient enrichment, conservation and purification of water. Purification of water is very, very important process. Okay, I'll discuss in later. And recreation, for our peaceful mind, we will go, which cannot be compared with our money. And aesthetic value, like a Kuvempu, it is the source of inspiration is this diversity, or the any poetry or the literature. And scientific, like how the gene pool, well, discuss about the mango 5,000 varieties. So what is the reason? And that type of study, or evolution, or human welfare, you can see. For example, if you take a tree of 50-year-old, sorry, a tree of 50-year-old, okay, it gives worth of 5.3 lakh worth of oxygen, 6.4 lakh worth of soil erosion, and 10.5 lakh worth of air pollution, and provides 5.3 lakh worth of shelter for the birds and animals. And it will give a worth of 6.4 lakh worth of fertility, besides flower, fruits and timbers. Okay. When a tree is fell, is something worth of 33.9 lakhs, that is approximately 34 lakhs, okay, which is almost precious. And
The
this is
screen
the
share my
what? Hello. And
Continue.
okay, this is a picture which show the essential or the importance of mangrove flood. Why it is the mangrove vegetation is important. It is important for fishing. It is a home for many types of fishes, amphibians, etc. And it is the one which will actually avoid the rise of the sea level. At least that is okay. Submerging of the land can be avoided, or climate change can be avoided, and it attracts the honeybees. Therefore, it helps in apiculture. The mangrove, okay, and it is a source of medicine. And of course, it will avoid soil erosion, like what we are predicting during the time of tsunami in Andaman and Nicobar Island, where the mangrove vegetation is more. There, the effect of tsunami was very, very less.
sir.
Very, very
Share
less.
my dream.
Therefore, mangrove means it is man for. Apart from this, you have immense ecosystem services.
Sir, screen share my dream.
Immense services is essential maintenance of the ecosystem and sustainable utilization. Okay, and natural pest control, or prevention and mitigation of natural disaster, or understanding the basis of evolution and natural selection, which I'll discuss next step. And this is one about this. We won't go for this because of time constraint. Okay. And this picture, once it is shown, you can see we have four macaques or monkeys: one lion-tailed macaque, Nilgiri langur, bonnet macaque, and Hanuman langur. This what west forest has lion-tailed macaques and Nilgiri langur, whereas the dry forest has bonnet macaque and Hanuman langur. Where these two, even though they are all are monkeys, even though it lives in same forest, this lion-tailed macaque no dependent on fruits, where Nilgiri langur mainly depends on the leaf and foliage. And here also, bonnet macaque mainly depends on the fruit, and Hanuman langur mainly depends on the foliage. If you tell the predator and prey relationship, that too also same case. Like wet forest has tigers to camouflage with the trees, and that has a prey the gore and sambar. Whereas dry forest are the leopard and the dole, and that's its prey
Sir,
as the
the
cheetah.
screen share my dream.
Yes.
Continue.
And this shows that animal species, as we think, okay, they're in their wild habitat don't distribute randomly. Okay, they distribute in such a way so that they minimize the competition. Okay, that is what the important thing. And this is one important video, okay, which shows the some of the important species of Western Ghats, okay, and Karnataka in particular. This is king cobra. You can see for a few minutes, then we will go to the next one.
Sir, IUCN long form.
It's visible
It's only the problem of your network. Please
It is
spin to
applying
Santhosh Kannada presentation screen.
golden frog, another specialty of the Western Ghats. Flying frogs too. Flying frog disease. Every year, minimum 4 to 10 species, new species will be discovered in this Western Ghats. Some other small creatures. Spiders. What happened? Is it visible?
Yeah. Continue. Next.
Okay, 1 minute. Are you seeing this? Is it visible?
Yeah. Video next.
Next video, na? This video kantala?
Alla video play ಆಗ್ತಾರ.
Okay.
Sir, we can't see your screen, sir.
Okay.
It is visible.
Sir,
Okay.
Please don't interfere.
If this is too long, you just remove them. Otherwise, Santhosh.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, please to continue, sir. It's visible.
Okay. You just see this one. Learning nature is something unique. In which time we have to use mind, in which time you have to use the strength, or which time you have to use both. That means if you want to become so intelligent, you just observe nature. And that's what the science and our old people will say. And that is very clear from this particular hunting of tigers or behavior of tiger. You can see this is a 2 minutes video. Just observe the way action carefulness of this particular tiger or the greatest living being. And see, it is completely applying the strength. Now you can see monkey, or you all know it is very, very intelligent animal. And you can see how careful the tiger is. For which it has to apply only mind, where the strength do not come into picture.
ಸರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಏನು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ರೀ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೇಳ್ತೈತ್ರಿ.
Now you can see, okay, if two people skip and quarrel, the third party is always a benefit. And that's what this behavior shows, where it will apply both mind and energy. You cannot stick on to always one. Is it visible?
It's visible. Continue.
You can see how careful it is. One tiger can take up the 100 kg man and jump to 12 feet height. And see how the jump is. That's why it is said, if you want to become intelligent, just observe nature. Okay. Now we shall know the threats. Of course, the first, the Indian biodiversity threat came from the British, looting of this nature and natural resources. I was hearing from one, my friend's grandfather, that earlier the big ship used to go in these rivers of India and Karnataka. Okay, the rivers was so big. And they formulated rules and laws in such a way to loot the wealth of the country. For example, before 18th century, the British recorded more than 3 lakhs species of or varieties of rice. Out of which 2.5 lakhs we have been lost due to the particular British rule, which created numbers of famine and huge number of death. That was the student of Gandhiji, Dharmapal, will write in its scientific report. And you have to see this. And this is the one what video which is an evidence for how the British was looting or destroying, how the hunting of tiger was being carried out by them. For that, I've taken from their website itself, and this is the documentary made by them to tell their proudness. And we have been, it is an evidence to how they looted us or destroyed our tigers. You can just see this one. 2 seconds, it will go off. Okay. Now it is actually how the tigers was been hunted by the British. They said in northern Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh region, it has been captured in 1900. Now earlier it was black and white video. Now they have made color. It is freely available in YouTube. They thought the tiger, our province king was also like a tiger, and how they hunted. They will forceful this our kings to hunt like this. Is it visible?
Yeah.
Are you seeing how they were trapping the tigers and tying them?
Yes.
When the elephant approached, the tiger used to attack it, and during it, they will shot it. And they're telling that they have, like this, they have killed thousands of tigers. Whatever they've seen animal bodies in British Museum, all were killed and looted like this only. As a result, we can see the tiger today is typically endangered. Likewise, only they have been killed these our what kings are our people. It is Indian rhinoceros also. They are killed like this. And this is how our destruction start. And of course, today is the land mafia, sand mafia, and mining mafia. We have to remember our Karnataka is in the higher sea level than compared to southern part like Tamil Nadu. How we see the rivers on the surface of the soil, likewise we see in the underground also. Underground water, we all know the water flow from higher concentration region to lower concentration. Same in underground too. Okay. And the soil, that is sand, is the one which will slow down the flow of the water, and what that percolated into surface water or crust, and that was available to us. And this is the picture I took from Chamundi Hill. Earlier, this was a green patch. We call this as a LA Tota, 1 to 2 kilometer wide it was. And along the Chamundi Hill, it was there. We used to calculate our home is like here, our school is like here. But today we can see complete full of sites, land mafia, what we seen. Where the people will come, okay, still a big question mark. Okay. And this is the picture I took from the when I was working in Tumkur. The name itself, Tumkur means which is full of natural resources, filled with natural resources. You can see full part of a mountain is craped. If you go further upside, what is the height of the mountain? That much depth we can see due to the mining. And mining is a total, okay, disastrous project. It is never economical for in any terms. Okay. And another sand mafia or sand mining is the greatest mining, okay, greatest disaster project. It will actually, the sand will slow down, as I told earlier. If there is no sand, the water flow very fastly to the lower, okay, lower region. As a result, groundwater will also flow faster, and the surface water will also flow faster. As a result, our Karnataka is become a desert or a diseased state. Okay. And this what and this is the one newspaper article. I took it from 2 years back, 3 years back. I took this one where it says that the everywhere from the lorries from Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they will come and put that the tire and hospital waste, everything. And night they will take off the sand to there. In their state, they have made a strict regulation. In our state, they will take every night. One night I counted in Nilgiri Road, Vasing. I saw in 1 hour 50 lorries were gone, which filled up the sand. And you must wonder, once upon a time, this was a Bangalore, this grandstand vegetation, okay, like this, which has the species like this great Indian bustard and black buck. And today grassland has been devastated. And this destruction of forest, you are all well known. One cutting of one tree means death of many animals. And this you saw yesterday, the poaching, okay, and they will made the hand clip and they beat with the hammer to their head and kill this particular tiger. And it is a greatest disaster, or everyone has to work to stop it. And this is what we call in Kannada as a Drupad Mara. It actually lives for 40 years. Well, if you start taking this one gum, okay, it will die in 4 to 10 years itself. And this you can see, this is Mysore picture, newspaper one. And this you can see the smile on the face. Whenever I remember this king, I always remember one incident which has happened in Rajasthan. Once what happened, the tiger died by hitting with the train in railway track. The scientists backtracked what happened to that, they backtrack and going. Okay, and they got one old woman, and she saw that particular tiger. And what she told is, he respectfully telling that like a human being. That boy is come here for the tiger, what he was telling. And he
Sir,
saw me,
screen share ಮಾಡ್ರಿ
and
ಏನು
I too
ಕಾಣ್ತಾ
saw
ಇಲ್ಲ.
him. He was very good. He just went away. And I was thinking, why this in front of tiger, that lady is thinking, why that came, whether he's not got food, whether he's not got made, whether some his mates has been thrown him out of the forest like this. And this is what our mentality, Indians mentality. But you can see here, the once upon a time they came, they hit it by and killed and chopped off all 4 legs and dragged for 1 kilometer, okay, which is what you'll call as a British mind. And they have not left even the sea animals too, stingray. And this is another conflict. And this yesterday have been discussed with this, and the skin trade, especially the Tibetans will feel proud to have the skin. And there's Chinese full proud to have this. More the number, more wealth like this. In just I was googling, okay, the tusk of 1 gram, you can see hacked of element of 1 pound cost about 1,10,000 rupees. Okay, and this is in the black market. And this is another documentary. And this is the picture, encroachment of the forest taken by Saptagirish. Okay, same thing. And roadkill. See, this also known and has told yesterday. Okay, 65% will be killed in this one during night. This is Bandipur picture. Road kills. Another. How the truck has hit the elephant? It is unimaginable. Okay, And that's why it is necessary to ban at all cost. All cost. The night traffic was banned in the forest region. Another greatest reason for the decrease of biodiversity is this decrease of wells. Our wells are systematic, our old wells are like this without disturbing the nature, and increase of the bore wells. Okay, it was easy flow of water, but biodiversity, gradually the water in the topsoil decreases. As a result, upper one will don't get the water. You can see one data. In 1980s, Bangalore has only 5,000 bore wells. Now we have more than 4 lakh bore wells. And another systematic problem is monoculture. First, the government will grow eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is an Australian tree which is on the seashores. Are you listening? Is it visible? Now it is
visible.
okay.
Clearly
It is
visible, sir.
okay. It is an Australian plant where it has a one animal like koala, what you have seen. That is the only animal which will eat this eucalyptus. Okay, no other animal can digest this particularly. And for that seashore, what it has made the mechanism, it will absorb the water fastly and evaporate the water fastly in Australian seashores. But in India, water is scant. It is cannot happen. They just put this particular plant, provoke the people, farmers to grow this plant so that some of money. Okay, then after a couple of years or 10 years or 15 years, they will become barren land. Then they will tell the same people, your land is unproductive, just sell to us, or we'll make some SEZ, special economic zone, with like a separate territory for other country people. And this is the systematic brainwash. And you all know the exotic species. Okay, Lantana camara, which is major region for forest fire. Okay, Parthenium and other case. And most very important, for past 15 years we have seen this problem. This is our old systematic of channels, like some taking from Vishweshwaraya or older people. They were building channel like this. You can see water can percolate here. The crabs, fishes, every can nest, grow, and everything. But you can see this. I took it from Ranganti to beside this. Going to Ranganti till get one day they all scraped off all vegetation and put all three-side concrete. And this is a VC channel. Some people will buy. Will scold. This is more than that. This is destruction of entire complete gear. If somebody falls also, you cannot save him. Okay, because of this slippery nature and no scope for vegetation. This is forest fire picture once in happened in Chamundi Hill. Some people has been thrown out some body and put at the fire. And another major problem of our Bangalore city, you can wonder, there was more than 4,000 lakes in Bangalore city. Okay, before 1950s. Now it has been count to the numbers. You can see when you devastated the lake like this, but the water, of course, they will come. Okay, and that is the reason for the flood in the low-lying area like cities like Bangalore and other cases. And this is another greatest brainwash by these multinational companies, either the medical companies or whatever, we don't know. Okay, this is when the project is going on. Then I took this picture in Mysore. Okay, in the footpath they're making two gutter like this, one with the pipe, another with pipe. If you keep on this, they put the concrete. And before that, how was the footpath? This is the footpath stones. There was the space. Okay, easily water was percolating. They put the concrete on this and tiles, and if you keep some weight that people come, it will fall down also. The tiles are so weak. Okay, and this roadside gutter. Okay, this has destroyed more than 10,000 trees in Mysore. Roadside gutter. Okay, earlier we are thinking in our front of us there is a small stream of drinking water. Or if you don't make gutter, they won't give permission to build your house itself. Okay, and you can see this people tree was inside. Then also they will they fell this off of this early cut, and then they made it. Okay, and 500 of such people tree was been destroyed during that time. As a result, global warming, increased pollution, soil erosion, loss of fertility, decomposition, okay, nutrient cycle alteration, gene pool decreases, okay, food alteration, food chain alteration, hydrological alteration. All these things. Now we have to think whether all this destruction are accidental or purposeful, or government declared war against own biodiversity. Are they not thinking these animals as of this place? As a result, the species have become threatened, like extinct. Some has been no more in this particular earth, like a cheetah, Indian Asiatic cheetah, endangered, critically endangered, vulnerable, threatened, least concern, and data insufficient, or some places are not evaluated. And this is some criteria. If, for example, like reproduction, okay, you can reproduction. Reduction in population. If it is more than 90%, then it is critically endangered. Okay, about 70% and more, then it is called endangered. 50% and more, vulnerable. Likewise, we will classify. And these are some species. Asiatic cheetah is extinct. Javan rhinoceros, Sumatran rhinoceros, pink-headed duck. Okay, Himalayan quail. Okay, Orionos. This is a picture of Orionos, which is no more. This is how the cheetahs were been taken to hunt by the kings and the British. Last cheetah was, and it required habitat like this. Okay, and this how the another subordinate of the during cheetah's time, black was. Of course, this is surviving today. Okay, and the kings used to send message by the passenger pigeon, and this is that. This also become extinct. Extinct in wild. Okay, Himalayan quail, Sumatran rhinoceros, critically endangered. Okay, you can say this. What? Snow leopard. Okay, it can run down the track from the mountain in 60-kilometer speed, and this its style will help in the grip, or it will help in balancing. Okay, and this is how it will hunt, but there is no time, therefore we skip it. Okay, another is this endemic species, that is lion-tailed macaque. It has 5 kilometers of territory like a tiger, and there will be 5 to 10 groups, 5 to 10 number in each group. When other fellow comes to this group, they'll offer food, okay, and all things, and while going, they have a strength made male to exchange of gene pool also. And they are very fond of jackfruit. And now I'll show one clipping where they don't how to whether jackfruit is ripened or not. They are not able to identify. For that, they will take the help of the giant squirrel, Malabar squirrel. Okay, they it has very good sense of smell, and from them, when that identifies, they will snatch from that particular case. Okay, you can see that behavior here. Just see this 2.5 minutes clipping. Malabar squirrel is very strong smell. They can sense very strong smell. And this was taken out during monsoon season. It was not able to identify whether it is ripened or not. Is it visible? Another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just 5 to 10 minutes. I'll just close it. Can see this is endemic species of Western Ghats, Malabar squirrel. You can see that is ripened. That was detected by this squirrel. Now, see, it will catch all that. The biodiversity is always interesting, and it requires intelligence and simple things to understand it. That's why you can see. And Asiatic lion, I have discussed this one. Great Indian bustard. Okay, it has been reduced to great number today. And black buck, endangered species like tiger, red panda, okay, and elephant, king cobra. It is largest venomous snake. And this is some threatened plants, about 3,120 in India, and animals about 648. And these are other threatened species of birds. Okay, and Malabar civet, which is very important for coffee. And strategies, conservation strategy. This is a small cartoon. Okay, you can tell one is telling today there was a heavy rain and floods. Every the acid was been flooded. then you are telling what to do. Then we'll dry up all the things and he comes. And other birds are telling, shouting, this is our valuable ecosystem. And another fellow is telling, hey, they are human, they do not understand except money, talk in their terms. Then he will say, think that water is a money. Okay, it fall from the heaven. And what you will do when you have plenty, then you will say, I'll put it in a bank. Okay, and we the wetlanders will absorb it, and he is asking, you won't utilize full? No, we will utilize only part and purify that particular case. And whenever required, we will give back to this nature. And you can take up that one skill like this. And you tell, oh, of course, then I'll utilize like a bank whenever I will take, which is tell very important conservation strategies. And of course, the first thing is maintenance of integrity of the habitat. You should not detach the habitat, what we are seeing. Okay. Another, prevention of the wildfire or forest fire, whether it is burning of grassland, roadside footpath plants, it has to be stopped at all cases. And most important traditional practice was sacred species. The people tree has been survived. One people tree can give the oxygen required for 4 to 10 people. Okay, where one people required in terms of medicine, it 4 cylinder. One cylinder costs 700 rupees and 2,100 species for every day. If you give just for breathing oxygen, then you can imagine. But about medicine, okay, it is very good antimicrobial, antiviral agent, this tulsi. And most important, we are telling when a Ganesha festival, water pollution. Okay, actually it is not Ganesha. It is not festival. It is called Rata. Rata means there is strict rules and regulation. For this, the elder people will taking the children to the what places, biodiversity places surrounding that village, and telling what is the use of this plant, how much you should take, what is the flower, what is the season of that particular. Out
Sir,
of the 21 flowers, 21 plants, they will to take and come and make the Ganesha idol and give it back to the nature. Again, living for the water means we know how much to utilize, and we always value, I always think nature first. Okay, that's why, okay, we value. That's what, that we develop the relation. Okay, as there is a sacred groves. Okay, these are, we will see all over the country. Okay, and so one, this Rattamata Shastra. Okay, it was first ecological textbook of the world. Okay, built by Kannadigas. And you are all familiar with Ekalavya. Why he became warrior? Once he was going in and protecting some deer, innocent deer, some wild dogs attacking in unknowing deer. Whatever, how much he was careful, he was not able to okay, avoid it. Then he thought, he just listening to sound, I should practice the arrow, right? And therefore he can be regarded as father of reserve forest concept. And earlier there was a rules. If one village has to be established, there should be parish patch, Mavintopu, grassland ecosystem, and lake. Then only they will be allowed to give. And they are also making rules like within 14 kilometers, okay, every daily need should come. Okay, then only it should be healthy village. And roadside tree, it is one of the simple, okay, but it can be, what this simple thing, 25% of the sound pollution will be avoided, the roadside trees. Okay, and particulate matter, what effect also it can avoid. And you can remember one statement of Mahabharata, that don't cut down the forest with its tiger, and don't banish the tigers from the forest. Tiger perishes without forest, and forest perishes without tigers. And this is a statement what they know, okay, about the. And the international efforts are also made to avoid illegal trade, like cities and Ramsar conservation, like precious wetland will be regarded as World Heritage. Such 41 Ramsar sites are in India, and last one is the lunar one, Lunar Lake in Maharashtra. You can tell what as a person we can do as a group: plant more trees of native plants, okay, which can attract local wildlife, butterflies, insects, and which are vegetables not available in the market. Grow that one in your garden or in your schoolyards, and participate in the camps, or which will draw attention against the actual destruction of the biodiversity. Okay, and make a list. This is what we can all do. List different types of species in your campus or locality. Find out the names, uses, flowering season, and animals, birds used depend on them. And present this information in interesting way and put it on the tree, so that people will stop and read that information and develop intimacy about that particular plant. And curb your greeds okay, for the natural product like skin, fur, ivory, bones, nails, etc. So that poachers and traders should be avoided. And this is another controversial, the vegetarianism. Okay, of course, human teeth are made to not to digest the meat. Okay, and other just avoid that one, so that a few animals required to slaughter. Okay, and avoid insecticide, pesticide, and plant-based. Use more amount of plant-based fertilizers and other things. So that and avoid plastic. Okay, you can just I make a one data collection from Mysore city now about panipuris. Okay, panipuri god is what that one day they will produce 2 lakh thermocol plates. Okay, this is one study conducted every day. Okay, after that, the beside the Chamundi Hill, the another garbage hill is also developed. And children make aware of surroundings, like what the core thing of the principle of the Ganesha festival, so that the love can be developed. Okay, and promote biofarming and eco-friendly things. And use modern techniques like the recharging units, okay, wind power, solar powers. And most importantly, the communities can do community sanctuaries like a Gomala, what have been earlier did for the water ranging animals without allowing for the actual forest, migratory birds, endemic, and they call that as a village river, what earlier people called as a Gomala. And consider every 40 kilometer a geological rocky place. And it is not for them. It is if rocky places are there, that will enrich the water table, and assist the national bodies to diverse. And as person, what we can do, make a one your diary like a biodiversity register, like how you keep the personal diary. Okay, in that you note down what is the which plant you say, what is its scientific name, what is its common name, what is its uses. If you see some animal dead, why it is dead, what is the reason, like that. And from this biodiversity register, you can become a very good taxonomist. Taxonomists in India are few here, less than 100. And Gandhi says, okay, the greatness of the nation and its moral progress can be judged by way it's treated the way animals treated. Okay, and there is one saying at last: if money is lost, something nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. That's what earlier people will used to say. And we would add another one: if biodiversity is lost, our future is also lost. That's why they are the China or the always attack on this biodiversity or the mining, or provoke other nations to what have mining without in their nation. At last, we'll conclude like this: India is the only place where both animal and wildlife has enjoyed the freedom. If you don't save this wildlife, if you want to save this wildlife, it is not enough by just learning or knowing about them, but it is now inevitable situation where young people has to wage the multi-dimensional war to save them, so that we are not saving them but ourselves. Thank you.
Yes, sir. It was so true that whatever you have told. In the beginning only, I have told that perhaps what I am giving is introduction is very less. Those who have